Donald Trump at a rally today, complaining as he usually does about things, and then patting himself on the back for all of his supporters.
Gee, that sounds like what every presidential candidate does at rallies.
But wait till you see the end of this clip and how he congratulates himself on one particular supporter. Watch.
My God, look at the look of concern on Cenk's face. God forbid Donald Trump said something racist. Let's find out what the racist thing Donald Trump said.
We had a case where we had an African-American guy who was a fan of mine. Great fan, great guy. In fact, I want to find out what's going on with him. You know what look at my African-American over here. Look at him.
Look at my African American over here. Wow.
Well, like I said on Twitter today, the only racism in that statement is what racist liberals project onto it. And yes, I still hold to my theory that white liberals are actually the biggest racist. White liberals, they actually believe that black people are inferior. The difference between white liberals and the KKK is that white liberals think it's their job to put black people in the palm of their hand and pet them like little animals and take care of them for their own self-righteous moral high. They're so racist. Now, the only reason I'm even doing a video on this, because it is ridiculous. I mean, the mainstream media is so desperate right now to find anything to destroy Trump, because nothing has worked so far. But the only reason I'm doing a video on this topic is because I think it's pretty clear if you listen to what Donald Trump said. He wasn't just randomly saying, my African American over here, in the sense of mine, like I own him. Because that's what everybody's freaking out about. It sounds like he says he's owning a black person. Even though that's what white liberals do. They think it's their job to take care of black people like they're their little pets. But let's listen again to what Trump said.
We had a case where we had an African-American guy who was a fan of mine.
Boom. Number one, notice what he said. We had a case where there was an African American who was a fan of mine. Notice he used mine, a possessive word such as the word my. So he's already using possessive terms like my and mine to describe this man. But notice how in this first sentence he states, which is a more developed sentence, he said there was an African American who was a fan of mine. That's what he means. The African American is a fan of his. My fans, my supporters, who happen to be African American. Let's play it again.
We had a case where we had an African American guy who was a fan of mine.
Already used a possessive term. Keep going.
Great fan, great guy. In fact, I want to find out what's going on with him. You know what look at my African American over here.
So again, now he uses the term my, a possessive term. He uses a possessive term again, but instead of specifying that this African American is a fan of his, he just simply says African American. You can see the context. He's talking about a fan of his. Okay? He already mentioned that and qualified that in the sentence prior. So for him to, in the very next sentence, use another possessive term, it wasn't racist in the first sentence because he's talking about a fan of his, and he's talking about an African American fan of his over here. But of course, this is the desperate level that pathetic white liberals, and if you listen to the YouTube channel Atheism is Unstoppable, Cenk Uygur, supposedly he's not even white. So he's from somewhere else. But again, these guys, their job is to infantilize and condescend to black people. These white saviors, they want to act like they care so much about black people and minorities that they want to sweep in and just help all the minorities. Don't worry, minorities. You need us white liberals to defend you against the white man because you can't do it yourself. The inherent condescension and belittling racism of white piece of trash, quote-unquote liberal progressives like the Young Turds. And unfortunately, when you're a white liberal and you do not have any testicles, all you can do is go around crying racism where none exists. Fortunately, Donald Trump is finally someone with balls. And, when you don't have any testicles, you're just no match. And that's why Donald Trump is trumping all over the bullshit, pseudo-moral, quote-unquote liberal progressive media. And they are agitated, and they are scared, and they have no clue what to do because every time they attack him and call him racist, he only gets stronger because we see through your games. You're not pro-black, you're not pro-woman, you're pro-communism, you're pro-collectivism. All right, don't let these little cover words, these cover labels like pro-black and pro-woman deceive you. Feminists aren't pro-woman. That's why they attack women who want to be traditional housewives. Like a famous actor, Kaylee Cuoco, who says she likes to cook for her husband, and feminists attacked her. Pro-blacks claim they care about black people, but if you're a black conservative, or if you disagree with their religious cult ideology, you get ousted from the club, called the Coon Sella Uncle Tom, and attacked. They're not pro-black, they're not pro-woman, they're a bunch of communistic collectivists, and that's why you're falling. Not because people who like Trump are just racist, and every time he says something racist, people just support him even more. No, they're tired of being called racist when they're not racist by a bunch of communistic collectivists who think wealth and success should be redistributed. Trump's balls are unstoppable. So is this t-shirt. I'll put the link to it below. Thanks.